Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, California Weather Watch, January 12th, taking a look at the mid-level water vapor loop. You can see that low pressure system out over the Pacific Ocean, continuing to bring moisture back up the west coast here. The bulk of it is kind of staying off the coastline of California here, but it will move through here in the upcoming couple of days. Then we've got about two more systems after this one to deal with moving across the state. Then it looks like there may be a break coming through the extended. We'll take a look at that as well. This is the hazardous mountain travel here, looking nice graphic here from the National Weather Service Sacramento. Major impacts are expected. Big snowfalls still yet to come, mainly above 5,000 feet. As you can see here, Sierra and Southern Cascades. Road closures, major delays, use your chains. Strong winds and near whiteout conditions are possible here. Now looking at the snow forecast here as we go on in through, this is updated today, the snow forecast. You can see some of these areas up towards 30 inches across the region here, lowering snow level to 5,000 feet, 6,000 feet Saturday here. Timing is Friday to Saturday night, heaviest on Saturday, major impacts. Rain forecast, Northern California shown here. You can see moderate impacts. As you know, the state is very saturated right now, so a lot of this precipitation that falls over the next three storms here is going to just immediately become runoff here, so be prepared. There is light at the end of the tunnel though. Now taking a look here, selected precip totals across the state of California. Look at Oakland at 16-day record at over 12 inches, almost 13. San Francisco International Airport, almost 12 inches there. That is a 16-day record. Also, Stockton, California, over 8 inches as well, as the state is just very well saturated here. And we are busting this drought across the state for much of the area. We'll look at that here in some more detail here in a moment. Looking across Southern California here, you can see some of the big precipitation amounts since October 1st. Look at some of the coastal regions here, up over 50 inches. Some of these areas towards Santa Barbara, up over 40 inches across some of the hill areas there. Just big precipitation amounts. You can see those big amounts also for some of the foothill areas here out of Bakersfield and Fresno. This is percentage of average precipitation during the water year from October towards January here. And you can see many of these areas well up over 200%, 300%, even 400-500% of their normal precipitation. Now, what's going on here? Let's take a look here. This is the temperature at 10,000 feet, actually 5,000 feet, 850 millibars here. This cold air out over the Pacific Ocean right now is what's driving that storm up the west coast currently. Then you can see a stronger storm is going to set up shop off the southern Oregon coast here as we go through this weekend. And then one more fairly strong storm is going to dive down through California here, then potentially a break as we go on in through mid-week coming up here. It looks pretty high confidence at this point, but not a sure thing right now. So we're just kind of watching it for now. But it looks like three storms and a potential break coming up here for California. This is day one excessive rainfall outlook. You can see there's that slight risk along the immediate coastline here. Here goes day two. You can see that slide down the coastline towards the Bay Area here. And day three, it incorporates Southern California as well. There's going to be a couple decent fronts moving down through Southern California, potential flooding with each one of those as well. And you can see the foothill regions here kind of highlighted in that excessive rainfall outlook on day three. This is the day 1 through 3 overall winter storm impacts here. Nevada, of course, is going to be the ones highlighted here. But here's day one, not much. Day two. And as you go on in through the 14th through the 15th here, that's going to be some major impacts across the Sierra Nevada here as those storms start moving through California here as we go through this weekend here. So heads up for that. Now taking a look here, 6 to 10 day precipitation probability outlook here, and you can see most of the state, again, above average here. But watch what happens as we go into, actually, let's back up here, as we go through the 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook. Look at this. The break looks like it's coming here, folks, as we go on in through January 19th through the 25th. Looks like we're going to get a break here across the state and get to dry out at least a little bit here. Now, we'll kind of look at the storms coming in here. This is big low pressure off the coastline directing this precipitation, I should say, in this atmospheric river up the coastline here. Eventually moves through. Here comes the weekend storm here. Strong low pressure system off the coast of Northern California, Southern Oregon there. But this is going to cast a front all the way down through Los Angeles, Southern California, San Diego here, and then another strong storm moving in towards the Bay Area here. It's going to cast a strong front all the way down through Southern California. Some windy conditions with this one as well as a tight pressure gradient. It's going to set up on the south side of this low pressure system there. And then look at that potential break coming up here as we go on in through the extended. More on that tomorrow. Now taking a look here, sea level pressure here. There goes the initial system here. Then the stronger storm comes towards the southern Oregon coast here as we go on in through Saturday morning. This is 10 a.m. 18Z is about 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Then the next storm, you can see this one diving even further south into California here. Nice pressure gradient on the south side of that here. Nice rainmaker as well. But that could potentially be the last storm for a while here as we go on in through next week for California. Total precipitation in inches. This is the European 12Z. That's the 4 a.m. run. This is hot off the presses. It just came out. And you can see this precipitation finally transfer and pivot inland here as we go through Friday night into Saturday morning here. Then the next system starts blasting in here as we go through Saturday afternoon and evenings, bringing a frontal system all the way down towards San Diego, down towards Baja Peninsula down there in Mexico. And then we've got another one coming in here that's going to cast another good round of precipitation across the area here. And look at some of the places in Southern California getting some pretty good amounts here as we go through Tuesday, and then the potential break comes. So might as well pile it up while we can, as long as we can avoid the severe flooding. The problem is, though, the state is pretty well saturated here, and anything that falls is going to become runoff quickly. So let's hope we can replenish these reservoirs without doing too much damage in the meantime. This is total precipitation in inches for Northern California here. I just wanted to kind of highlight this as we go. Here we go on into Saturday here. A pretty good shot of precip. You can see some locally higher amounts in some areas. There's going to be some landslide potential and some flooding potential as we go through this weekend. And then as we bring in the last storm system, it looks like here on the day Tuesday, you can see some areas getting 6+ inches around here, mainly along the coastline in Northern California here, Sierra Nevada. Of course, the Bay Area 2 to 3 inches most likely through Tuesday. Now this is looking at Los Angeles, the metro area down here. Let's go ahead and scroll this in. And by the time we get towards late Friday night, the precip might start fairly light, but then as we go through Saturday, the precip piles up pretty fast here. And then as we go on into Sunday morning here, some pretty good amounts towards Santa Barbara, Ventura County out here, the metro area, even downtown Los Angeles getting over an inch here by Saturday morning. And then the next storm system starts to roll through here, and another good shot of precip here. And hopefully this atmospheric river stays progressive and moves through the area quickly. So if it hangs up on any one given area, that's going to increase the flood risk quite a bit. This is looking through Wednesday night shown here. So another couple good rounds of precip coming. Don't let your guard down because there's light at the end of the tunnel. Now taking a look, total snow coming up here. So it's going to put this into motion here. And of course, everybody knows where the snow is going to pile up here across the Sierra Nevada. Look at this, over 100 inches coming for some areas. Yeah, it's possible here. Check that out, all the way down through this southern Sierra Nevadas here and the Siskiyous as well. Now take a look at this, snow depth in inches. If I put this into motion here, you can see the scale's kind of pegged here. There's plenty of snow on the ground across the Sierra Nevada. Some areas up over 80 inches. By that point, you can start to form glaciers if you hold on to 60+ inches of snowfall for any period of time here. So plenty of snow across the Sierra Nevadas, and we're just going to add to it over the next few days. Now check this out. You can see California down here on the bottom left. I'll scroll in a little bit here. Now watch the comparison over 2 weeks. So you guys probably know we got rid of some exceptional drought across the Central Valley there. And now look at this. We've wiped away a lot of this drought across the state of California here. So this is very good news for the state of California here as we are reducing the drought. We've got the extreme and the exceptional drought almost entirely removed from the state. Just a very small area in Northern California there in the Cascade or the east slopes of the Cascades. But yeah, very good news there. Now this is looking at El Nino, La Nina, the ENSO cycle here. If you look at the end of this run here, now watch this. You got the La Nina cold pool here. You're looking at the depth of the ocean here, about 450 meters there, and then the surface would be at the top here. And you can see that cold water across the top of the ocean here, across the equatorial Pacific. This goes all the way from the western Pacific to the eastern Pacific shown here. But by the end of the run, you'll notice some of this Kelvin wave bringing some warmer temperatures up into that La Nina cold pool there, which could signify the end of La Nina and the move towards neutral conditions and possibly an El Nino in the next year or two. As you can watch this run here too, you can see that cold water off the coast of South America here, but watch towards the end of the run, you see some of that warmer water making its way in there. And this is the CFS forecast here, and you can see we are in January now, and you can see the climb out of La Nina conditions towards neutral, and then potentially even El Nino conditions as we get towards summer and fall of next year. We'll see how that trends, but it looks like La Nina is coming to an end. This is hot off the presses today as well, and by the time you go on into July, August, and September, you can see El Nino odds start to increase. Now, notice this is a probability forecast. we can't tell you for sure that La Nina wouldn't hang around for a fourth year, but it's extremely unlikely. It's about 10%, but there is that chance. Then there's neutral conditions. Once you get into September, it's about, 38% here, and it looks like El Nino becomes the odds-on favorite here. So, try to remember that in the back of your head. It's just an ocean cycle here, and you can't predict it perfectly. All you can do is kind of give odds on what's going to happen. But anyway, take a look at this State Route 88, some of the areas up in the Sierra. They're trying to clear snowfall up there, and you can see just how deep it is in some areas. Probably pretty good avalanche risk up there as well right now. So heads up for that, but I just thought I'd show you some of these pictures there for some of the Sierra Nevada region up there. So yeah, drought busting here across the state of California here. The flooding's been pretty bad for some areas here, but overall, you just have to have the water. It's just a price you have to pay during the winter months to try to get the water back and replenish, the crops and everything across California, try to fill those aquifers and try to fill those reservoirs out there. But anyway, it looks like 1, 2, 3 storm systems, including this one, then back here across Pacific, more energy moving across. So 1, 2, 3 storms, but by next midweek, there may be a break coming for California. We'll check that out in some detail tomorrow as well. So anyway, click like, click subscribe, turn your notifications on. If you want to join the channel, click on the join button below. I'll cover California anytime it gets any kind of weather, any kind of extreme weather or active weather pattern. I will continue to cover California. So anyway, we'll do this again tomorrow, and I'll talk to you guys then.